What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's Apex Pros here again. So this is the same race as the last video. It's a weekly, I nearly said daily again, weekly race C now. Red Bull Ring in the Group 2 cars. So this is the qualifying lap that I did yesterday. I only did one race yesterday. I'm not going to show you it because it was just an easy win. But this is the qualifying that I did before it, and this is still the lap that I used for the first race that I'm going to show you a bit of in this video. So that's why I'm showing you the lap. You can see him using all the exit there now for this lap. So this lap was better than the one I had for the last video. I still managed to actually find half a second on this a bit later on today. So this will end up being a 22.7, whereas yesterday our best lap was a 23 something. But with lows in the bag. You even saw before the race started I was up and just got that penalty at the end, so I just like stopped the lap and went into the race. So there was loads of time there, so I wasn't too surprised what I found this time, but I was a little surprised that I found another half a second on top of it. So you'll see in the videos the lap will go from a 22.7 and in the end it ends up at a 22.3. It's either a high 2 or a low 3, I can't quite remember now. It's going to be in the video, we'll see. But this one's definitely a 22.7. So I could probably, I reckon, get it into a 21 with a bit more work, because I've probably spent 20 minutes total on qualifying for this so far, so there's a bit more time there. Yeah, it's basically just getting good exits and abusing that turn 1 really. That's all there is, and yeah, just making sure you nail that big break on the hairpin up into the hill. So starting 4th here now with that lap that we just saw. So like I say, that lap I did yesterday, didn't improve on it in the few minutes I had before this race. We've got Indie Food on P1, so I'm not really expecting to get near him. He races with the big guys a lot, he's a fast driver. He's obviously got that Pecora power. Little flash from us in P4 on the left of screen. Using the Lexus still, same car. A little bit slow to react, but off we go. The GTR behind got a great launch look. The fellow Brit. Fairly clean through turn 1. To be outside there, try and get a good drive. Got a little bit of a tap there, but not too bad. We still just managed to get a good drive. But we strangely look at that orange SR. I'm not too sure what that was about, but never mind. Moved a lot of ground on to pack there. I gave him a little nudge there, which is a bit more orange SR. I thought like little bump drafts were okay now. But first lap in a 13 lap race, I'm trying not to burn through the tyres, I'm not trying to turn in too aggressively, brake too sharply or too hard. Just trying to sort of, well, a bit too hard there, but you know what I mean, you can see the pack getting away there, so. But I'm just trying to sort of manage everything as best I can. This guy's a good example of why I'm using traction control for this race, although I don't think I'd get on the grass like that, but I think it will certainly help mitigate your losses if you're prone to snaps like that off this turn as well, that guy as well. So I wanted to nip up the inside, but he made sure the door was kept shut, and as it is we've got enough momentum to go around the outside. I'm not even going to defend it. I didn't want to be in the middle, but I saw him coming up the outside, so I left him room. Then I saw this guy coming, so I sort of left this guy room as well. So I braked conservatively, but like I say, it's a long race, so I don't feel like I'm going to get P1, but I feel like we've just shot ourselves in the foot now. We could have just about kept up with P2, I think. Later in the race I've got the pace to match him, but everyone's just squabbling for P3 with a lost sight of the bigger picture really, but never mind, I guess it's a race on between us lot now. But yeah, I'm just getting held up a lot. And actually, the reason I'm going to show you a few more races is actually once we got past these first few laps and I got past back into P3, just pulled away from these lot and stayed within about 5 to 8 seconds of P2, and Indy Food just streaked away with it. So there's not too much point showing it, but I thought it was worth showing the start of it because it's an interesting opening few laps. This guy very slow through turn 1. And yeah, we got a penalty and some more SR for that. You see him get very loose again. And we've got the slipstream as well from the guy in front, but remember he braked really early, so very awkward. I didn't want to hit him in the back again. Luckily he braked a bit deeper this time, unlike last lap. I don't know what he was doing in the last lap, so that was lucky. If he'd have done the same thing he did the last lap, I'm not sure what I could have done there really. It would have been pretty disastrous. There's no way anyone's running around the outside of you on that corner. If someone manages to outbrake you around the outside on that corner, you've done something very wrong. Hamilton tried it on Rosberg, didn't he? Rosberg just ran him all the way deep into the corner. So anyway, cut to the end of the race, finishing third. Like I say, once we got past that pack, not too much happens in that race. So then I did another race after this one, which for some odd reason there were a few faster guys on the front, but they quit out early on, so that ended up being quite an easy win as well. So I'm going to show you that one. So this is the third race I did of the day. I've shown you that first one. You're not going to see that second one because, like I say, it was just it was an easy win. You know, light to flag. Quite a big gap as well in the end. So this one we've got Indy Food again in P1. GTR doesn't get the rocket start this time. Not doing anything silly here. We'll get a little tap from that Frenchman in P3 now. He gets a penalty for it. But look, we've lost a lot of momentum. It's the back of that guy. It wasn't really deliberate, was it? You know, we get a penalty for it. Never mind. Never mind. So down to 5th now with the penalty. Got a lot to do. A lot of ground to make back up. And look, the Frenchman's falling back as well. That move was quite important, so we need to get back on the tail of the Frenchman. Spaniard looks to be falling behind a little bit. So I've not been thinking too much about fuel savings until this point. I've just been trying to make sure that I stay in touch with... I'm not going to be able to keep in touch with Indy, but if we can keep in touch with P2 and get a podium... A little bit of a moment there for P3. And again, GTR's getting very loose out of that corner by the looks of it. Again, that's why I'm driving the Lexus. I know how slippy this track is. Trying to bit by bit burn the penalty a little bit as well. That's going to be the deciding factor, I think, in this race between me and the Frenchman who gave me that penalty in the very first corner of the first lap. It's going to be who can scrub off their penalties most effectively, pretty much, because you can see we've both got the pace on this Spaniard and he's burning through his rear tyres as well. If he's watching, I'd advise him to try traction control in his next race. You know, I know it's not cool, no one wants to use it, but it would help his race. I'm not saying he needs it, I don't need it, but it helps. You know, it stops these little moments sometimes. And in a long race, it's beneficial if you can stop those happening all the time, or some of the time when they might happen. You know what I'm trying to say? You should save a bit of tyre life. In the slipstream now, which is good. I'm lifting a bit early there, just trying to scrub a tenth here and there if I can. Just into that hairpin and into this corner as well. If you lift on the straight, you can scrub a bit of penalty. It's also how you don't go into the back of people in braking zones as well, to be honest, when you're in the slipstream. Oh, P2 has a mistake. So the Spaniard swoops past, we'll have it as well. He's looking for the cutback, but I'm wise to it, not going to run wide there. Spaniard again, having little wobbles on turning, a bit too fast into that corner maybe. His tyres aren't going to be looking good in a lap or two. Dirty air a little bit, so don't attack as much as you would normally. Does have a fairly strong effect. You can certainly notice it in the Group 2 cars, Super GT class, of course. I think I'd say he's struggling on his tyres now. In the braking zone. Couldn't get it turned in, could he? For the first part. Gotta be patient through that corner. He defends very hard there, keeping the door firmly shut. Which I wasn't really expecting him to do. So you see it caught me off guard a little bit. I figured that because he made his mistake, and you can can see the momentum that he lost. I wasn't expecting him to have done that, but never mind. I mean, he's got every right to. Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticising it. I'm just saying it caught me off guard a little bit. I wouldn't have done it. Anyway, we get past. His tyres have clearly gone. So that's the battle of the penalties. Like I say, pretty easy to defend that corner on the brakes there. Just make sure you get a good drive out. Short shift's pretty good there. Would recommend. Because when you're in the top end of third, because you got lock on for quite a long time in that corner. Obviously, you've sort of got lock on as you throw it in on the brakes a little bit, and then you continue to have a lock on as you want to start loading it up as you come out of the corner. And yeah, if you're in the top end of third with a bit of lock on in these cars, it's quite sketchy. So taking the short shifts. Probably carry more speed using the torque in the bottom end of fourth than you would if you're in the top of third anyway, and you're going to be saving more fuel. So would definitely recommend the short shift there in the race. Maybe not in quali. If you can nail it, maybe get a bit more drive. I'm not sure, but certainly in the race. Again, look, he's trying to go around the outside, but it's not really going to happen. And look, we keep getting way better drive off. So now he's under pressure from the guy behind, the other French driver. Early lift there, just trying to score a bit of penalty just while I've got this little chance. Here we come. Make sure you don't miss the pits. It's quite a challenging pit in on this track for everyone involved, for drivers behind if someone's following closely, because you kind of need to be slowing down midway through the apex of that second to last corner. So yeah, it can be quite difficult if you're in the middle of a pack of cars, for example, all scrapping. Not easy. Right, so we come out, where we are, we're 8th at the moment, but some guys are staying out, so we've yet to have this this shuffle out. Too deep there. I think I did an early lift to try and burn some penalty, and then coasted too long without braking and managed to overshoot the corner even though I lifted off early, which is pretty embarrassing. Pretty amateurish, to be honest. So we've got 3 guys in the pits in front, Indy's staying out. battling for penalties. As you can see at the moment, ours is around 3 seconds. I think his is around 2, so I've got more to burn at the moment. Big lifting coast there. Did manage to scrub quite a bit of penalty, but look, he's right behind us now. So we're on 2.4 and he's on 2.2 at the moment. Another lifting coast. Extra on the inside. That's alright. We're now winning the battle of the penalties. Oh, and we've got the position back as well. Oh, he scrubbed a bit, so he's at 2 seconds now as well. But he's not the guy that hit me off on lap 1, it's the guy behind that hit me off on lap 1. I think his penalties will probably be for track abuse then, I guess. Well, he was battling with that Frenchman though, wasn't he? So it could well be from that as well. There's not many places you can get a penalty for track abuse here really. If you cut too much of the inside of that turn 1, you can get a penalty. Probably the same here. I've never really tried it because it's got that massive curve. Yeah, it's not really worth it. The other main place where you can pick up a penalty quite easily, let's say, is coming up in these twisties. Through here. So if you take too much of this curve, you get a penalty. If you're on it too early, basically, if you're too wide through the first phase, and you end up running wide onto that curve midway through that chicane, then yeah, you can get a penalty. You can just about take all four wheels onto him. It needs to be just a little bit later on. Alright, 2 to go. Podium's looking good. I would quite like to get the P2 on track. No fuel saving to be done here though, which is nice. I tend to do that. I'll fuel save from the first sector and then fill up a little bit above diamond at the pits and then just push in the second sector. That's my sort of default strategy. You can adjust it depending on how the race goes or how things are looking traffic-wise at the midpoint, but I'd say that's a pretty good base strategy, because in the first stint you're always going to be closely bunched up with cars because it's the start of the race, so it makes sense to do your fuel saving at that phase of the race, because you can't change it, you're not on different tyre strategies either, so it's not like you can start on softs and those around you are on hards, and so you can go fast in stint 1 whilst they're going slow in their stint 1. No, it doesn't work, you can't do that in sport mode, you're all on the same tyres, so for you to not fuel save in stint 1, you need to really make sure you get past people quickly, otherwise it just doesn't make sense. You may as well just fuel save and then push when you get the opportunities in the second stint. I think most of you lot know all this anyway by now. He's wide through here, look, that's what I'm saying. You need to be patient in these corners. Again through here, look, throw it in, and then yeah, get on it. So is it 1.8? It's hard for me to see. I have another little lift here. I think I probably should have just gone for it. I'm still not that good at serving penalties right at the end of the race, so we've got this guy behind as well. I think mine's down to a 10th, but if I cross the line, it's going to be counted as a second, isn't it? I'm not really sure. So he serves his, I serve mine, but then he just finishes ahead, low, so we'll take the podium. Shame about the penalties, but still way better than yesterday. So yeah, there you go, guys. A little bit of some better racing than yesterday's video, and we got the third out of it as well. So we should have some gains in the DR as well. Not that I really care about that stuff, but it affects me when I do stuff like that go-kart race that I had in the FA race this season. Anyway, guys, hope you're good, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.